What if I told you that your biggest enemy doesn't live outside of you? It lives inside your mind. That the most destructive voice you'll ever face isn't from your boss, your past, or your failures, but from your own thoughts whispering, "You're not enough." You know that voice, don't you? The one that wakes you at 2 a.m., replaying your mistakes. The one that makes you overthink every decision, doubt every step, and question every victory. You smile in public, but deep down, you're exhausted, fighting battles no one can see. Why do we sabotage our own peace? Why do we believe thoughts that destroy us? Why do we feed the negativity that drains our potential? You weren't born with a broken mind. You were trained by the world to think that way. Here's the truth the Stoics knew long before us. Your suffering doesn't come from the world. It comes from how you interpret it. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Negative thoughts only control you when you forget that you're the one in control. But there's a way out, through discipline, awareness, and ancient Stoic laws that rewire the mind. Laws that crush negativity, silence inner chaos, and build a mindset so calm, so powerful, that nothing external can shake it. Today, you'll learn 7 brutal Stoic laws. Not soft, comforting advice, but timeless principles forged in hardship. They won't just inspire you, they'll challenge you, rebuild you, and awaken the unbreakable part of your mind. So, if you're ready to stop letting your thoughts control your life, if you're ready to take back your mind, your peace, your power, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment saying, "I choose strength over negativity," and let's begin your transformation. One Stoic law at a time. Law 1. Strike the cause, not the consequence. Stop. Right now. Look inside your mind. Do you hear it? That constant chatter, the nagging doubt, the little fire of fear that never seems to go out. Most people live trapped in a mental battlefield they don't even recognize. Anxiety flares, self-doubt whispers, frustration gnaws, and every day they rush to put out the sparks. A text here, a distraction there, a scroll through endless feeds. But no matter how often they stomp on these fires, the sparks return. Here's the brutal truth. You are attacking the consequences, not the cause. Your mind is like a garden. Ignore it and weeds grow. Pull weeds daily, but never treat the soil, and they return stronger than ever. Anxiety, fear, procrastination, self-doubt. These are all symptoms. The root lies deeper, a belief, an unresolved wound, an old story you carry silently. You procrastinate not because you're lazy, but because fear of judgment tells you to hide. You spiral into sadness not because life is unfair, but because a past wound you never confronted keeps replaying itself. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength Epictetus taught. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Seneca reminded us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. These aren't just quotes, they are instructions. They point to a simple Stoic truth. Mastery begins with identifying the source, not endlessly fighting the symptoms. Think about it. Every time you feel anxious before a presentation, restless before a big decision, or guilty after procrastinating, what do? You scroll, you binge, you distract yourself. Temporary relief. But deep down, you know it's coming back. That's the part that keeps you awake at night, keeps your chest tight, keeps you from acting. You aren't broken, you just haven't dug deep enough. Imagine walking into your kitchen to find water pooling on the floor. Do you mop it every day forever? Number. You trace the leak to its source and fix it. That's exactly what Stoicism teaches. The leak is the root belief, the old fear, the recurring story. Stop mopping the floor. Go find the source. Here's the practical Stoic method. 1. Identify the spark. Pause when a negative thought arises. Name it. I feel anxious about this project. 2. Trace the root. Ask why. Keep asking. Why does this make me anxious? Is it fear of failure, judgment? 3. Challenge the belief. Question it. Does this belief serve me, or is it controlling me? 4. Respond, don't react. Take deliberate action aligned with your purpose, not your fear. 5. Repeat daily. Each time you confront a root, you weaken its hold and reclaim power. When you cut at the root, anxiety no longer paralyzes you. Self-doubt becomes a signal, not a jailer. Pain transforms into insight. Fear becomes a teacher. You walk into life's chaos not trembling at every thought, but standing like a fortress of clarity, strategy, and reason. Your mind becomes a place of choice, not reflex. Your life becomes a reflection of your will, not your worries. Remember, Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion. It is about virtuous mastery, acting in accordance with reason, courage, justice, and temperance. Every negative thought is a flare, not a verdict. Investigate it, understand it, challenge it. Next time you feel overwhelmed, instead of saying, "I can't handle this," ask, "What exactly am I afraid of?" Are you afraid you'll disappoint someone? That you'll fail publicly? That you'll waste your time? Write it down, then go one step deeper. Why would that outcome hurt me so much? What belief do I hold that magnifies this fear? That's where the root lives. Once you name it, you can decide, does this belief belong here? Or is it time to let it go? Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your guide. That edge you feel when you dig deeper, that's where freedom starts. And it isn't just about fixing problems, it's about reclaiming power. Power to respond, not react. Power to choose clarity over confusion. Power to act, even when fear whispers. The Stoic doesn't hide. They confront. Not because they're fearless, but because fear grows stronger in silence. Every time you strike the root, you reclaim authority over your mind. Every time you act with clarity instead of reaction, you step closer to inner freedom. So today, don't chase the sparks. Don't endlessly mop the floor. Strike the cause. Confront the root. Face the fear. Name the belief. Challenge the story. That's Stoicism. That's self-mastery. That's freedom from the tyranny of your own mind. Live like this. Cut the root. Don't trim the leaves. Law 2. Master your perspective, or be a prisoner of it. Stop. Take a breath. Look at your life through your own eyes. Not the eyes of others, not the filter of society, not the lens of fear. What you see is not reality. It's your interpretation. Every judgment, every frustration, every moment of anxiety, it is shaped by your perspective. And here's the hard truth. If you do not master your perspective, it will master you. Most people live as prisoners of their own minds. A rude comment, a failed project, a missed opportunity. Suddenly, the world is against them. Anxiety blooms, resentment grows, sadness lingers, and they blame the external world. They blame the people, the circumstances, the unfairness of life. But the Stoics knew better. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth," Epictetus reminded us. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. Seneca warned, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Perspective is everything. The same event can be a catastrophe for one person and a lesson for another. The same criticism can destroy one mind and strengthen another. Why? Because the difference is not the world, it's how you see it. Let's make this practical. Imagine someone insults you at work. Most people react immediately. Anger, shame, resentment. They stew in the moment, allowing their emotions to hijack their judgment. The incident becomes a story of injustice, feeding negative thoughts for hours, days, sometimes weeks. They are prisoners of perspective. A Stoic, on the other hand, stops, pauses, examines. 1. Observe the event. Step back mentally and describe what happened, without emotion or judgment. A colleague disagreed with my proposal in a meeting. 2. Separate fact from interpretation. Ask yourself, what is fact and what is story? Fact, they disagreed. Story, they want to ruin me. Third shift. Your lens. Choose a perspective aligned with reason and growth. They disagreed because they had a different viewpoint. This is an opportunity to learn and clarify my argument. 4. Act with purpose, not emotion. Respond intentionally, calmly, confidently, without reaction. 5. Reflect. End the day with journalism or quiet contemplation. What did I see correctly? Where did I let judgment cloud my mind? How can I adjust tomorrow? When you consistently apply this practice, you become the master of your mind. Criticism no longer cuts deeply. Setbacks no longer crush you. Fear becomes a signal to examine, not a cage. Loss becomes a teacher, not a jailer. You stop being tossed by external events and start choosing your internal response. Remember, the Stoics never said life would be easy. Hardship, loss, rejection, illness, all are inevitable. What is under your control is how you perceive and respond. Perspective shapes your reality. Your mind is a lens. Clear the lens and the world becomes less chaotic, less frightening, more manageable. Here's the secret. Your default interpretations are often inherited. From parents, teachers, friends, society, even your own past experiences. They feel true, but they are habits of thinking. And habits, as the Stoics taught, are not destiny. They can be changed. Next time you feel upset, anxious, or angry, stop and ask, what am I telling myself about this event? Identify the assumptions hidden in your story. Test them. Is this fact or just my interpretation? Could it be otherwise? Reframe. Adopt a perspective that empowers, not diminishes. Do this consistently. Your mind will slowly shift from reactive prison to conscious authority. You will see the same world, but with new eyes. Challenges will not disappear, but they will lose their power to disturb your peace. Stoicism is simple but profound. Control what you can, your thoughts, your judgments, your perspective. Accept what you cannot control. The freedom you seek does not come from changing the world. It comes from changing how you see it. So today, commit. Stop being a prisoner of your mind. Stop letting external events dictate your emotions. Step back, examine, reframe, act intentionally. Master your perspective, and you will master your life. Every insult, setback, or failure becomes fuel. Every challenge becomes a mirror reflecting your growth. Every moment of anxiety becomes an opportunity to practice reason and virtue. Live like a Stoic. Choose your lens, shape your mind, and let nothing outside dictate your inner peace. Master your perspective or remain a prisoner of it. Law 3. Forge a mind of steel, not a gateway. Stop. Listen. Right now, your mind is under siege. Thoughts swarm like intruders, doubts whisper, fears knock at every door. Most people let these intruders in. They welcome them, they feed them, they let them occupy every room of their consciousness. And slowly, day by day, the mind becomes a gateway, open, exposed, vulnerable. But the Stoics knew a different way. Your mind is not meant to be a hallway for every fear, insult, or distraction. It is a fortress, a citadel, a mind of steel, unyielding, resilient, impervious to chaos that has no power over you unless you grant it entry. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength Epictetus taught. No man is free who is not master of himself. A mind without discipline is a gateway. A mind with discipline is steel. Here's the problem. Most of us react rather than respond. A rude comment, immediate anger, a failure, panic, a fear, submission. We let every external event dictate the state of our inner citadel. The Stoic approach is radically different. Build walls, gates, and watchtowers, then choose what to let in. Step 1. Recognize the intruders. Every thought of doubt, fear, or resentment is testing the gates. Pause. Name it. This is fear of judgment. This is frustration over circumstances I cannot control. Observation is the first act of power. Step 2. Question their authority. Ask yourself, does this thought serve me, or am I serving it? Stoicism teaches that our judgments, not events themselves, disturb us. Negative thoughts are only dangerous if we believe them without scrutiny. Step 3. Fortify the mind. This is mental training. Meditation, journaling, reflection, and visualization are the Stoic equivalent of blacksmithing steel. Every day you practice restraint, rationality, and self-control, the gates strengthen. Every time you respond instead of reacting, your walls grow higher. Step 4. Act with discernment. A mind of steel does not close off life. It chooses what enters carefully. Criticism? Accepted if constructive, discarded if petty. Fear? Heeded as a signal, not a jailer. Desire? Evaluated against virtue, not impulse. You're no longer a conduit for chaos. You are its master. Imagine a city under siege. A city without walls falls quickly. A city with high walls, vigilant guards, and careful gates endures storms, sieges, and invasion. Your mind works the same way. Without training, it becomes a highway for distraction, anxiety, and destructive thoughts. With discipline, it becomes a fortress of clarity, resilience, and calm authority. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to forge steel. A failure is a hammer strike. A critique is a chisel. Every moment of discomfort, every moment you resist reaction, strengthens your mental citadel. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This is a reminder. Most mental invasions are illusions. Your mind has the power to resist. The Stoic does not eliminate difficulty. They fortify the mind to endure it. So today, stop leaving the gates open. Pause before every reaction. Ask, do I grant entry or do I let this thought pass? Choose vigilance. Choose discipline. Build walls through reflection, rationality, and deliberate action. Forge a mind of steel, not a gateway. When external chaos arrives, as it inevitably will, you will stand firm. Fear will knock, doubt will whisper, and failure will challenge. But inside, you remain unshaken, resolute, impenetrable. This is not just strength, it is freedom. Freedom from the tyranny of thought. Freedom to act with purpose, clarity, and virtue. Freedom to become the master of your own mind. Every day you practice, you add another layer of steel. Every decision made with reason, every fear questioned, every desire evaluated. These are the hammer and anvil of your inner fortress. And one day, when life's storms arrive, your mind will not crumble. It will endure. It will prevail. Live like a Stoic. Build the walls. Guard the gates. Strengthen the citadel. Forge a mind of steel, not a gateway. Law 4. Release what lies beyond your control. Stop. Take a breath. Right now, think about everything that's weighing on your mind. Every fear, every frustration, every irritation. Now ask yourself, how much of it is actually yours to control? How much of your energy is spent on things beyond your reach? The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. Everything in life falls into one of two categories: what you can control and what you cannot. And here's the brutal truth. Most people spend their entire lives trying to control the uncontrollable, and in the process, they lose themselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength, Epictetus taught. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. Seneca reminded us, "Wealth is the slave of the wise, but the fool is a slave to his own desires." Notice the pattern. Stoicism is about focus, discipline, and freedom. It is about releasing the leash on things you cannot influence and reclaiming your energy to act where it matters. Here's how most minds get trapped. A co-worker criticizes you, a friend disappoints you, a plan fails, the weather ruins your day. Immediately, anxiety spikes, anger flares. You ruminate, you imagine the worst, you try to control the uncontrollable, and with every attempt, your mental energy leaks away. You feel tired, frustrated, powerless, a prisoner to circumstance. Stoicism flips the script. Step 1. Identify what you can control: your thoughts, your judgments, your decisions, your actions. Everything else, other people's opinions, outcomes, past events, natural forces, is outside your control. Accept it. Name it. Say it aloud. This is not mine to control. Step 2. Release with intention. Let go of attachment. Let go of expectation. Let go of resentment. Holding on to the uncontrollable is mental clutter. It blocks clarity, sows suffering, and poisons your peace. Release it, fully, deliberately, without regret. Step 3. Redirect your energy. Once released, direct your focus to what you can control: your preparation, your effort, your mindset, your actions. This is the realm where Stoics thrive. This is where power lies. Step 4. Practice daily reflection. Each evening, ask, what did I waste energy on today? What did I control and what did I not? Where can I redirect my effort tomorrow? This practice strengthens awareness and reinforces mastery over your internal domain. Think about it like this. You are a sailor on the ocean. You cannot control the waves, the wind, or the storms, but you can control how you steer the ship. Trying to control the sea itself is madness. Steering your vessel wisely, that is freedom. Every time you practice this, you reclaim your mind. Anxiety no longer paralyzes you. Frustration no longer consumes you. Setbacks become lessons, not traps. You develop clarity, resilience, and focus. The Stoics didn't ask life to be easy. They didn't wish for fewer storms. They trained to master themselves, not the world. And in doing so, they found a peace that the external world could never take. So today, release what lies beyond your control. Stop fighting the inevitable. Stop exhausting yourself on outcomes you cannot dictate. Accept reality. Focus on action where it matters. Invest your energy where it produces real results. And watch as your mental prison turns into a domain of freedom, calm, and power. Remember, control is not about domination. It is about choice. Choice to act wisely. Choice to respond with reason. Choice to preserve your peace. Live like a Stoic. Release what you cannot control, master what you can, and reclaim the power that has always been yours. Law 5. Transform suffering into strength. Stop. Right now, pause for a moment and think about the pain you've experienced in your life. The heartbreak, the failure, the rejection, the loss. Every scar, every bruise, every wound, it's a story. Most people see suffering as a curse. They see it as something to escape, to numb, to forget. But the Stoics knew better. Pain is not the enemy. It is the teacher. Suffering is the forge in which strength is created. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Seneca reminded us. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Every challenge, every setback, every failure contains the seed of growth. The key is not to avoid suffering. It's to engage with it, study it, and use it. Most people react to pain in one of three ways. They blame, they avoid, or they collapse. But the Stoic asks a different question. What can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? Here's how to turn suffering into strength. 1. Face it, head on. Don't numb or avoid pain. Sit with it, observe it. Ask yourself what it's teaching you. Pain is information. Denying it is like ignoring a fire. It only spreads. 2. Analyze it objectively. Break down what happened. Where were you unprepared? What assumptions failed? Which habits led to this outcome? Suffering is feedback. Treat it as data, not judgment. 3. Extract the lesson. Every wound has insight. Did a failure reveal overconfidence? Did rejection reveal misplaced priorities? Did loss reveal your resilience? Identify the lesson. It is your compass for growth. 4. Apply it. Transform insight into action. Adjust your habits, mindset, or behavior. Let every painful experience refine you. Your failures become the blueprint for your future success. 5. Integrate it. Internalize the lesson so it becomes part of your character. Suffering is temporary. Strength is permanent when forged intentionally. Think about it like this. A blacksmith hammers steel repeatedly. Each strike leaves a mark, but it also strengthens the metal. Without the hammer, the steel remains weak. Without suffering, your character cannot reach its potential. Consider a breakup that shattered your confidence, a job loss that shook your identity, or a public failure that humiliated you. Most would see these events as the end. The Stoic sees them as a beginning, the moment to rebuild, wiser and stronger. Here's the subtle truth. Suffering doesn't automatically make you stronger. You must choose to extract its power. You must decide whether it breaks you or builds you. Pain is neutral. Your response determines its effect. Practice daily reflection. When you feel hurt, ask, what is this revealing about me? When you encounter failure, ask, what can I change to prevent this in the future? When life feels unfair, ask, how can I use this to sharpen my mind and character? Over time, this practice rewires your mind. You stop fearing pain. You stop being defined by setbacks. You walk into challenges with confidence, knowing that every hardship carries a lesson. Suffering becomes your teacher, failure becomes your mentor, and adversity becomes your ally. Your mind becomes resilient, your heart disciplined, and your actions intentional. So today, embrace it. Don't run from difficulty. Don't curse hardship. Face it, learn from it, and let it transform you. Every scar, every disappointment, every trial becomes fuel for your growth. Live like a Stoic. Transform suffering into strength, adversity into advantage, and challenges into the forge of your character. Law 6. Harness quiet as your greatest weapon. Stop. Listen. Right now, the world is screaming. Notifications buzz. Opinions flood in. People demand responses, judgments, validation. Everyone feels pressure to speak, to react, to make noise. And most of us comply, constantly talking, explaining, defending, and sharing. But the Stoics knew a profound truth. Silence is not weakness. It is power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Seneca reminded us, It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Epictetus taught, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. In a world addicted to expression, the ability to remain quiet is a rare strength. Noise amplifies weakness. Talking too much about fear, doubt, or anxiety gives it shape, solidity, and power. The moment you speak a worry aloud, it becomes heavier, more real. Here's how to harness quiet as your weapon. 1. Observe before speaking. When triggered, pause. Do not react instantly. Let your thoughts settle. A brief pause creates clarity, preventing emotional chaos from escaping your control. 2. Reflect internally. Ask yourself, does this need to be said? Does it add value? Does it serve my purpose? Stoicism teaches that words are powerful. Misuse them, and you give away your energy. 3. Contain, don't suppress. Silence isn't hiding emotion, it's mastering it. A Stoic experiences anger, fear, or frustration, but doesn't broadcast it. They process it internally, turning impulse into insight. 4. Use silence strategically. Let your presence, actions, and discipline speak instead of your words. When others project chaos, gossip, or provocation, remain calm. Your restraint creates contrast, and contrast creates influence. 5. Practice daily. Begin with small moments. Resist venting on social media. Pause when tempted to complain. Observe how much mental energy is saved when you allow quiet to reign. Over time, it becomes an unshakable habit. Think about it like this. Noise is like loose soil, scattering energy everywhere. Silence is like a stone foundation, solid, deliberate, immovable. A mind trained in quiet is not easily shaken by chaos, criticism, or circumstance. Carl Jung echoed this principle. The less intelligent a man is, the more talkative he becomes. The wise speak little and thoughtfully. Silence is the soil where inner discipline grows. Every time you resist the urge to justify yourself, to explain, or to vent, you build strength. You conserve energy, sharpen focus, and protect your clarity. Now imagine life with this principle fully integrated. You face criticism without defensive words. You confront challenges without panic. You negotiate without over-explaining. Your words carry weight because they are chosen, not wasted. You are calm, steady, and strategically unshakable. Here's the subtle mastery. People will misunderstand your quiet. They may call you distant, aloof, or cold. That's fine. Your silence is not for them. It is for you. It preserves your mind, your energy, and your purpose. So today, make a choice. Stop reacting to every provocation. Stop giving away pieces of your mental domain to distraction, fear, or opinion. Sit in stillness. Observe your thoughts. Let the world speak its noise. You remain deliberate, disciplined, and composed. Live like a Stoic. Harness quiet as your greatest weapon. Let your actions speak louder than words and cultivate an inner sanctuary that chaos cannot breach. Law 7. Redefine the narrative that shapes your life. Stop. Take a moment and think about the story you tell yourself every day, the words you repeat in your mind. I'm not enough. I always fail. Nothing ever works out for me. Most of us don't realize it, but we are all living inside a narrative, a story written not by fate, but by ourselves. And the truth is, much of that story is borrowed from the past. Teachers, parents, peers, failures, and disappointments. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." What he meant is simple yet profound. The thoughts you feed your mind shape your perception, your identity, and your life. If you constantly dwell on limitation, fear, and self-doubt, you begin to live as someone defined by weakness. But if you change the story, you change everything. Here's the reality. You are not your past failures. You are not the sum of other people's opinions. You are not trapped by circumstances. You are the author of your own narrative. Redefining your narrative begins with awareness. Catch the default phrases that run in your mind. I can't handle this. I always mess up. I'm just not good enough. These are scripts, not truth, and scripts can be rewritten. Step 1. Identify the limiting story. Pay attention to your internal dialogue. Notice the patterns of thought that create fear, hesitation, or self-sabotage. Awareness is the first step to mastery. Step 2. Question the narrative. Ask yourself, is this story accurate? Does it serve me? Is it my truth or someone else's version of reality? Stoicism teaches that our suffering often comes not from external events, but from the stories we attach to them. Step 3. Rewrite with purpose. Replace limiting scripts with empowering truths. Instead of, I'm not ready, say, I am preparing and learning. Instead of, I always fail, say, I'm improving and each step brings growth. Replace fear with curiosity, doubt with determination, and passivity with choice. Step 4. Live your new story. Words alone do not change your life. Actions do. Align your behaviors with your new narrative. Every small decision, every daily habit reinforces this rewritten identity. Step 5. Reinforce through reflection. Each evening, reflect. Did I act in alignment with my new narrative today? Did I allow old stories to creep back in? How can I strengthen my identity tomorrow? Repetition and persistence transform words into reality. Think about it like painting a canvas. Every day your thoughts add color and shape. If you leave old, limiting stories in place, your picture will remain dark and constrained. But by consciously choosing your narrative, you begin painting with clarity, purpose, and strength. The Stoics didn't pretend life was easy. They didn't wish for a reality without setbacks, but they chose how they interpreted events and wrote their inner story accordingly. You can do the same. Remember, your narrative isn't set in stone, it's written in chalk. Mistakes, setbacks, and criticism don't define you unless you let them. You have the eraser in your hand and the pen as well. So today, take control. Stop repeating the scripts that limit you. Observe your thoughts. Question the stories you've been telling yourself. Rewrite your narrative in a way that strengthens you, aligns with your purpose, and reflects the person you are becoming. Live like a Stoic. Redefine the narrative that shapes your life. Become the author of your mind, the architect of your actions, and the creator of your destiny. If this message resonated with you, hit that like button to remind yourself that change is possible. Share it with someone who needs to hear this truth today. Leave a comment sharing the story you're ready to rewrite. And don't forget to subscribe. Join this community of Stoic warriors, where strength begins in clarity and mastery starts from within.